Launch options can be as important as the settings you use in-game for overall performance of the game that you play. In this video, we're going to find out the best ones for you. Before we get into the best launch options, I kind of want to go over what they are because some people just don't know. Launch options are settings you can input into Steam for when your game is launched to better optimize performance and just have a better overall time playing the game. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first one we're going to talk about is plus exec autoexec.cfg. As you can see, it's on screen. They're all going to be on screen. Basically, this one will execute your autoexec file if you have one. No one really wants to have to manually execute the file, so this is super simple. You don't have to think about it. It will auto execute like the name implies whenever you launch the game. It's super convenient. The next one we're going to talk about is dash no joy. This one disables controller support. You don't want a controller for Counterstrike unless you play on a controller, so if you don't play on a controller, use dash no joy. It's really simple. It makes it so you aren't getting secondary inputs from a controller you might have plugged in from a different game you're playing. I think it's super convenient. I think you should use this one. The third one I'm going to talk about is dash no vid. This one's going to skip the Valve video that plays when you first launch the game and skip straight to the Counterstrike 2 screen. I like this one because when I launch the game, I don't want to watch another extra video before I can play the game, so this one's super convenient. I highly recommend using this one. The fourth one I'm going to talk about is dash high. This one's going to set the game to high priority and may increase FPS when you use it. I think this is a really good all-around one that everyone should be using just for overall performance, and I think some people could really benefit from this setting if you're playing on a slightly lower end machine. The fifth one we're going to talk about is dash threads, then parentheses around a number. That number is going to be set to one less thread than your CPU has. So for example, if you have 8 threads set to 7, if you have 12 threads set to 11, you get the idea. This one may increase FPS. I use it. Most people use it. I think it's a really good one that everyone should be using just to maybe get the extra performance bump. The next one we're going to talk about is plus violence underscore H blood space 0. This one removes blood and may increase performance for some because there's less things on the screen that your game has to render. With less things on the screen, you may get more FPS. I think this one is just a pretty good one to have if you are on a lower end machine and really need the extra FPS. I think there's no hurt in trying this one out. The next one is plus CL underscore force preload space 1. This one's going to force the game to preload models, which may help performance. Again, for the people on slightly lower end machines, you guys might be able to benefit from this. I think there's no harm in trying it out, just like all these other ones. This next one is plus FPS underscore max 0. This one's going to get rid of the FPS cap. I currently play on a 240 hertz monitor, and I like having just as many FPS as possible in game, just to know that my monitor is getting the amount of FPS in game as it can present. I think it's a really useful one. I think everyone should be using that. This next one is dash allow underscore third underscore party underscore software. Use this one if you record any Counter-Strike content. So if you are making videos or live streaming, you're really going to want this one because it lets OBS see the game and actually record it. So you're not going to get very far recorded if you don't have this one there, but this is only really for content creators. The 10th one we're going to talk about is dash full screen. This one's going to launch the game at full screen, which is going to be better for performance. Most of you are probably already playing on full screen, but it's kind of a safe bet just to have this one there just in case something happens with your settings. You'll always be launched on full screen. I think it's just a safe one to have. I currently use it. I think it's a great setting. The 11th one we're going to talk about is dash console. This one's going to launch your game with access to developer console, which is good for adjusting settings among other things. This one's really good if you have an auto exec and you decide you want to manually execute it or just want to mess around with some other settings. Developer console is all around a really great tool, and I think you should have access to it if you're playing Counter-Strike, so use this one for sure. The final one we're going to talk about is dash refresh parentheses and then whatever number your refresh rate is on your monitor, put in those parentheses. So for example, for me, I play on a 240 hertz monitor. I would put dash refresh parenthesis 240 close parenthesis. This one, I mean, it's really self-explanatory, but I think you should definitely use this one because you could be missing out on FPS. For people that have kind of been looking into this stuff, trying to figure out the best settings, you may have noticed I left out dash frequency and then monitor refresh rate. I left it out because there isn't much evidence to prove that this really affects your performance all that much. It's pretty negligible. I think you can leave it out. If you really want to include it, you totally can. Nothing's stopping you, but I just didn't put it in this list because I haven't found any noticeable performance bumps in testing. Before I show you how to actually input these settings, I do want to say that I did a bunch of research on this video and my sources will be linked in the description. I want to start listing my sources just to kind of show you guys I'm actually doing my research. You guys can trust it a little bit more. But yeah, they're down there if you want to go check them out. If you want to go fact check, they're right there. Go ahead. All right, so all you're going to do to input these settings is first go to Steam, and then you're going to go over here to where it says Counterstrike 2, like you would launch the game. You're going to right click then go to properties, then go to general, and come right down here and you'll see launch options. So the ones that I read out are already inputted. Here they are. As you can see, they're right here. I'll scroll through them so you guys can see that I'm not lying. They're right here. So as you can see, I personalized them. So where it says dash threads, I put my amount of cores and then -1. So I have 12 cores. So I put threads 11. And then I also personalized the last one, which is the refresh rate one. So -refresh 240. That's really it. That's all that there is to inputting your launch options. You're just going to close this and launch the game like you'd play Counterstrike any other day. So yeah, that's all for this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'm currently on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. We just hit 600, which I'm so thankful for. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, if you guys do like my content, make sure you subscribe, drop a like, and I will see you guys in the next video.